High five.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's Top 5.
All right. Yeah, you know what? Everybody thinks that the football weekend ends with the Thanksgiving game and, the Jets-Dolphins Black Friday game. I'm here to tell you that's not the case. I'm here to tell you there's a ton of more intriguing matchups still to come for week number 12 in the National Football League season. And it starts with number 5 on my list. How will the Cleveland Browns follow up Dorian Thompson-Robinson's first career win? Is it possible they can go into Denver, Colorado, and snap the Broncos' highly surprising 4-game win streak? And do the Broncos follow up, getting back to 500 by getting over 500 this year?
Wow. That's amazing.
That's entirely possible.
That's incredible.
They could be over 500 heading into the bulk of the must-have portion of their schedule. And take the Cleveland Browns down a peg, have them start wondering if they can do it without Deshaun Watson and DTR, and maybe doubt creeps in, and obviously the rest of the AFC North would love that. They're rooting for the Denver Broncos in this one. Sean Payton and Kevin Stefanski dialing up their respective offenses against, again, one of the hotter defenses in the league is the Denver Broncos, and the Cleveland Browns are going, yeah, okay, we hear you. Good enough on that front. Forget it. So the Cleveland Browns versus the Denver Broncos, 7-3 versus 5-5. That's a good one right there for my top 5 list here on week number 12. Now, number 4. Pittsburgh Steelers still playing football. Cincinnati Bengals still playing football. They do not like each other. Holy Vontae's perfect, Batman. This is a great rivalry. And Joe Burrow's gone. It's Jake Browning's first career start. We had on our Wednesday show Jake Browning's throwing coach, Jordan Palmer, saying, this guy threw 91 touchdown passes in college. He's a 4-year starter. You know who's also 4-year starters? People like, Brock Purdy doing very well. People who get a ton of action in college football, like C.J. Stroud. They come out of the box looking very good. And he also pointed out he's got wide receivers who are in contract years who will be highly motivated to get open and catch the football from Jake Browning, named Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I like that sort of thought process. He thinks that this will be a very surprising start for Jake Browning, and also keeping the Bengals afloat, unless the Steelers defense comes in and says, that's a nice storyline, see you later. And they've got their new offensive coordinator, Mike Sullivan, calling the plays. Let's see if it was Matt Canada. It's going to be great. Steelers versus Bengals, 1 Eastern on CBS. Can the Steelers win their 7th game and keep their hopes to win their division afloat? Because the Ravens can't get too far away from them. Don't forget, they've already beaten the Ravens. All they got to do is just match the number of wins, same record as the Ravens, who they play in the final week of the season. They got to stay close. So that's an interesting game. Number 3 on this list. If I told you this would be the 3rd most intriguing matchup of week number 12, if I told you this back in week 1, you'd have said, okay, whatever. Jaguars at Texans.
Right? I'm surprised this is number 1.
Well, I think you'll see why it's only number 3 here. Trevor Lawrence coming off of a big W against the Tennessee Titans. It was a get-right game for pretty much everybody on Jacksonville's offense. And then every game's been a get-right game or keep right for C.J. Stroud. Tank Dell, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson. Don't forget, before C.J. Stroud started having a conversation of MVP season around him, way back in week number 3, Houston went into Jacksonville after Jacksonville had just lost to the Chiefs, and everybody thought, well, that'll be a get-right game for Jacksonville. And Houston went in there and beat him up. That means the Texans would sweep the season series from them and be 7-4 and take over first place in this division. That's at stake. Or the Jaguars can say, we'll just return the favor to you and take a 2-game lead over you. Big game, huge game, tons at stake. A lot of young players on fantasy teams, too. It's going to be intriguing. Number 2 on this list is the Sunday Nighter. You'd put Ravens Chargers above Jaguars Texans in terms of intrigue?
Oh, I think so. Maybe if the Chargers were 5-5 or even 6-4.
But dude, the number of people that are saying that the coach is about to get bounced or should get bounced. I mean,
that's true. But
I mean, in Justin Herbert, can he? I mean, you even keep saying on this show over and over again. You too, TJ. You chiming in about how great he looks.
Herbert's balling. He's not getting a lot of help.
So this thing's not over yet. The Chargers can go from 4-6 to like what, 11-5, 10-7. You know, right? Or not 11-5, 10-7, or 9-8 is what I meant, and still be in some sort of a mix here. This thing's not over.
Yeah, they got to win Sunday.
So, and then of course the Ravens being the Ravens, can they get their 9th win, and get 2 wins clear of Kansas City? They're going their bye week at that point. So that's a pretty big game. And Lamar versus Justin Herbert is, Eckler and Allen and all the running backs of the Ravens. And their defense, how will their defense handle Justin Herbert? Yeah. That'll be a good challenge. And then number 1 on the list is Bills at Eagles. The 9-win Eagles, can they get their 10th? Can they be the first team in the 10-win club in the NFL this year? Taking on a Buffalo Bills team that's feeling good about themselves. Can they go in and just put their stamp on it and say, oh, yeah, the Bills teams of the last few years that would have come into Philadelphia and been physical with Philadelphia and come out with a win in Philadelphia and you didn't, where we can, that Bills team still exists and it's in 2023. Or do the Bills go to 6-6 and then have a major problem on their hands? And the one thing that I think that on behalf of all of Philadelphia, and for some football fans that are uneasy about this, the Bills can remove from the table the fact that the only quarterback to beat the Eagles at present this year is Zach Wilson. How the hell is that a fact?
That's so
all
insane.
Right.
One more?
Oh, sure. Okay, here you go.
All right, we'll get one more.
I'll do it. I was going to go ahead and say Patriots-Giants.
The most important game in either franchise's storied history.
Rich, please don't let Einstein
is coming up on Sunday.
It's not Einstein. Okay. It's not.
If it's going to be Einstein, it's going to move furniture.
It's not. There's no matchup. It's not Einstein versus his phone or anything, or his bike or anything. It's not a matchup.
Brilliant.
Thank you. I mean, if Antonio Pierce has made a change, what better way to put the cards on the table than to send the Chiefs to their second straight loss overall, second straight division loss.
Speak it, Rich Eisen.
Right? That the Chiefs just did what they did on Monday night and come back short week and go to the spot where they, we all thought when they come to this game, it's just them measuring for the drapes to see if it all matches from last year's Super Bowl venue to this one. Right?
Yep.
But is it possible the Raiders beat the Chiefs, get to 500, put themselves in a nice mix, and really send Chiefs Nation reeling? Let's see. That's why it's my one more of most intriguing matchups.
Last week, biggest spread of the week, Raiders-Dolphins.
And they were in it,
points.
Man.
They were winning at one point.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a one-score game. Aiden O'Connell had the ball with a chance to tie.
So let's see.
They're in games.
Let's see if it happens. Those are my most intriguing matchups for week dozen after Thanksgiving. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.